Good morning, my friends. I am here with you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Back from my hiatus, politicking on the latest. I'm a Virgo with superlative flow, Nathan Ivy. Welcome back to the Nathan Ivy Show. If you are a neophyte to this show, meaning that your hammer and anvil are vibrating to the sound of my voice for the first time, consider this a baptism. Good morning, 513-873-7134. If you would like to share your thoughts or surrender your thoughts on the altar of digital talk radio, I would love to hear it. Numerous things I want to discuss this morning. I want to look ahead. 3 things to think about, or should I say 3 things to look for in 2020. This may or may not be on your radar screen, but as we approach the calendar year 2020, right around the corner, I think it's important to kind of look ahead and set some goals and kind of look at what maybe some of the bigger things happening in like the first half of 2020. I plan to do that this morning. That is what I plan to do. Please take a second and like and share today's show. Please like and share it to and where you think it might be relevant. Comcast does not respect black people. You know, I've got my eyes on on our digital future. I have my eyes on your internet rights. I have my eyes on what is going on and how it might impact those 2 issues I just brought up to you. I think it's very important because I don't know about you, but I love the internet. I absolutely love the internet. I love everything about it. I love the good and the bad. I love being alive in this age. I love that the Nathan Ivy Show is Cincinnati's first and longest running daily digital show. I love that. But again, Comcast does not respect black people. And also how to know your worth. Do you know your worth? It surprised me over the years. I've had many people come to me on a low, like professionally and also personally, and say, Nate, you know, I've got this meeting coming up. I'm trying to get a raise. I mean, it's hard to gauge, you know, what it is that, you know, you want. And I understand that, kinda. You know, I would like to believe that I know my worth. You know, I can be very selfish about my time and my art and my endeavor. Not selfish, but I know what I'm worth. And I've had people in the industry come to me in Cincinnati. People who from the outside looking in, you thinking they doing their thing. Making no money at all. I'm like, oh, okay, how is that possible? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Or cats that want to do more. So I'm going to talk about how to know your worth. In almost any situation, how to know your worth. How to get what you're worth. I'm going to share that. A few flows. Just some insight. Listen, I think I'm speaking to the choir. Because I'm speaking to the choppers. I know people in this room know their worth, but we can all be re-energized, right? We can all be reminded, right, of best practices and things like that. So if I have just described you, please take it that way. 513-873-7134. That is a very sacred number. That number comes with a price tag. And this is the price tag. You must open your mind before you open your mouth. The wise words of Boutros, a.k.a. Mason Jamal. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. It's bright and early this morning. And as always, I feel like there is more to talk about in the news than we will probably have time to get with. Although this show, listen, this is the digital age. And there are times when we zero in on one topic for 2 hours, although rare. But certainly times when we'll spend 30, 40 minutes on one topic. I mean, that's usual. But you will find times where within 2 hours, we might talk about 7 different things. Some serious, some less serious. For me, that's just the nature of how my mind works, which I think is a reflection of how the internet works. That's just me and my own personal style. Others may do their own way. Of course, that's what makes the world of the internet so much damn fun because you got so many options. I'll say it again. You could be anywhere right now in the World Wide Web, but you're here with me this morning, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. What's going on? What's going on? What did I miss? Please feel free to drop a link in the friends page. Before the show started, I was just doing a deep dive, not even deep dive, just like an internet dive on some future flows and shows as it relates to the Port Authority that I'm planning on for next year. And we're just kind of looking at their board of trustees and looking at some other boards here in the city of Cincinnati. And I do see a trend. Most certainly. Before we get too deep in the show, I want to remind you that the Cincinnati Police Department has opening up their recruitment offices. If you are interested in starting a career in law enforcement in Cincinnati, then I posted a link inside the friends page where you can do so. It's a 28-week recruiting training academy. You can make a difference. We need more Black people to become police officers. But in general, what we need are good people who are brave in heart and fair in heart. We need people who don't have problems about race and class. We don't need the kind of police officers that's going to cause a situation, but we need good people because that's a leadership position wherever they go. So we need people that seriously want to be leaders to be a part of the police department where I live, where many of you live, right? All I'm saying is this, is when you have an interaction with police and it's a good interaction, you're like, oh man, that went great. Well, we need good people. All right. We need really good people to promote those kind of good interactions, because that's how people judge law enforcement, with their personal interactions. But again, I'll say this is a job alert. I think I've got some alert music that I can cue up really quick. This is an alert. The Cincinnati Police Officer recruitment is now open. You can apply today and launch an amazing career in law enforcement with tremendous opportunity for growth and development. You can text the Cincinnati Police Department at 797979 for more information and updates about their recruitment efforts if you are interested. Interested persons must be at least 21 years of age at the time of the appointment, have a high school diploma or equivalent, which is a GED, and be eligible to work in the United States with a valid driver's license. Now, if that sounds like you and or someone that you may know, please share this information with them. I'm going to post a link right now where you can check it out for yourself, and you can share this link right now with whoever you think is most relevant to. Again, we need good people to be a part of the Cincinnati Police Department, where many of us live, policing our streets, becoming leaders, the decisions of life and death. And I know we talk about the police, but I'll stand by, as I always said, I think it's an admirable job. I have family on the force. Many of you may have family on the force. And, you know, what's interesting, yesterday was a really interesting conversation. The tail end, I thought the whole conversation was a good conversation, but what struck to me and what's relevant to what I'm saying right now is that last night, and just put this in your calendar, Wednesdays at 7 p.m., live stream show, Cutting Through the Bull. Okay, hosted by Clue Magic and Fast Pitch. Fast Pitch and Clue Magic are the hosts of that particular podcast. So at the end of it, they got into a conversation about William Barr and his statement. But in general, it got kind of tied up with, you know, their observations of Queen and Slim, which I have not seen yet. I definitely want to see it now after hearing them talk about it, so I can give you my own flows and add to the conversation. But it was like, you know, on one hand, people say F the police, but then when you have a problem to call the police, you got two black folks having this conversation. I think some people would think that, you know, black people don't have those kind of conversations and that kind of insight when it comes to law enforcement. There's some misperceptions out there. Not some. There's a whole lot of misperceptions out there about the black community and how we view law enforcement. And a lot of that is because of the narrative being taken out of our hands. And that's where Sin Digital Media comes in, at least here locally. A new urban voice in Cincinnati. We produce podcasts for the people, particularly the people that live inside the I-275 loop and beyond. But back to this, there's a link inside the Friends page. I'm going to post a link. I just posted a link to the Voice of Black Cincinnati. Shout out to Crystal and all the good work she does. And if you know someone who's interested, please share it. And if you know of some place online where it needs to be shared, please share it. Good morning to you. Where are we at here? Why am I doing this? Oh, okay. I get it. All right. Great. I love it. Good morning to you, man. We making it every single day, huh? Now, today is Thursday, December 5th, 2019. And as always, it's my pleasure to be with you. Before I take our break at the bottom of the hour, I got to greet the choppers. Brenda writes, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, Brenda. Miss Tiffany writes, morning. Ray writes, grand risings all. Hey, good morning, everybody. CG Dub writes, good morning, choppers. Angela writes, salutations. Also, I've got 2 tickets to give away today for the Ohio Kings. The Ohio Kings. I am super excited about this. I love this idea. You know me, I'm a basketball guy, and it's a black-owned endeavor. Their first game is going to be over at Cincinnati State at 4:30 p.m. this Saturday. I did post, I believe, a link inside of the Friends page from their Facebook page. And courtesy of the Ohio Kings, we have 2 tickets to give away to the Choppers. Take your family. You know what I'm saying? Go have a good time. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, my apologies on that. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Somebody just sent me a message. Okay. My bad on that. My apologies. Oh, sorry about that, choppers. I need to do something real quick. All right. Here we go. Yeah, my apologies. Yeah, just got a message. Cincy Tigress writes, his all claps. I guess she's saying good morning. Hey, good morning to you, Cincy Tigress. CG Dub writes, good morning, choppers. Angela writes, salutations. Mason Marler writes, morning, Nate and the choppers. Hashtag people don't dance no more. Hashtag mind changer. Okay. I'm not sure. 2 different flows there. Kelly writes, good morning. Tanika writes, morning, Nate and the choppers. Let's see here. Mason Marler writes, Lady Choppers up early representing. Who says black women are the problem? Question mark. Morning, ladies. Fame says that black women are the problem. He just jumped out the window. He said, you know what? I'm just going to own it, which I appreciate on some levels. I mean, how can you run from it? But nah. CJ is down in Houston. He writes, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, CJ. What's happening in Houston? What's happening in Houston is that there's a black business under assault down there. Yeah, I read about this, man. Yeah, I read about this. So you had this black female. I cannot recall her name, but I just saw the article. I guess it was yesterday. I watched a video, and she opened a restaurant called like the Turkey Leg Hut, something like that. Isn't that what it's called? Turkey Leg Hut? And apparently it's like the biggest thing ever in Houston. But some of the people in the neighborhood, aka white folks, they apparently tried to sue her or got an injunction because they said that the smoke from her smokers, I guess she does smoke turkey legs, was like, you know, going into their neighborhood or something like that. So she offered to like buy some new fancy piece of equipment that would like alleviate the problem. But they're like, nah, we want you to leave. Apparently there's like so much business, like people are like standing in line to get some smoked turkey legs. I mean, I guess they put macaroni and cheese and stuff or something on there. I read on it. It's supposed to be a big deal, like a real big deal. Like people have like, she's been like on some major publications. Isn't that true? Isn't that happening down in Houston, CJ? Think so. Charles writes, morning, Mason Mahler. I think they're just jealous of that sister. Tanika writes, yes, morning, Glenn, absolutely. GAH writes, good morning, good folks. Kush writes, good morning, Nate, and the Choppers, good morning to you. Jared writes, good morning, hashtag team and I. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Sissy Tigers writes, Black Panthers are back talking about a bounty on Zimmerman's head. It's becoming a blame game, but I'll admit that I'm surprised he's still breathing. Daryl made a great point about black people and our forgiveness. Now look at Zimmerman is terrorizing the Martin family. That is very true. All very, very true. And the good folks from the Cutting Through the BS podcast talked about it last night. Check it out. It's up on the Sin Digital's page. But that's true. George Zimmerman is suing the Martin family for $100 million. And he is alleging that one of the witnesses basically lied and or gave some false testimony. And this has everything to do. All this stuff is being all kicked up because there's like a video that's circulating called, it was something about the Trayvon Martin family. So one of these right wingers did a documentary, right? And somehow they were trying to debunk and put the truth out there about Trayvon Martin. And what they are alleging is that George Zimmerman was just a patsy because, you know, America wanted somebody to go to jail for the death of this young boy. So it was a railroad job, and the witnesses who said she was on the phone really wasn't the witness on the phone. And now George Zimmerman, this goes back to 2013, February 20th. This goes back to 2013 when it was in February of 2012 when Trayvon Martin was shot. And he didn't go to trial and he wasn't acquitted and all that kind of stuff until 2013. So that takes us back to the beginning of the decade. This was like the first, you know, in this decade, this is probably like the trial of this decade. And of course, Zimmerman was acquitted of all charges in the case and people were very upset. And then Trayvon Martin's family has gone on to like start a nonprofit and get involved with politics. And they're still very much out there trying to raise awareness about the issues particular to their son's death. In my opinion, you know, George Zimmerman is a loose cannon who murdered a young boy. I think he's a coward who murdered this young boy because he got himself in over his head. He got himself in over his head. He thought he was going to be able to manhandle this kid, and he wasn't able to. And he brought a gun to a fist fight. They might have wrestled for the gun, or maybe he had to wrestle the gun out, and he shot this young boy. Do you remember the images of Trayvon Martin's body? Yeah, I remember. I can see it in my mind's eye right now. It was too much. Just too much. Just lifeless body, eyes open. Terrible, man. And of course, Trayvon Martin's mother, her name is Sabrina Fulton, everybody. She's become a gun control advocate. And she's running for a seat on the Miami-Dade County Commission. And it was just terrible. I don't know how he didn't go to jail. I mean, you call 911 and clearly the dispatch tells you to stand down. You approach this person. You start a physical altercation with this person who ends up being a minor, by the way. It's a minor. You can just go up there and you can accost minors now. And that's why people really had a problem with that stand your ground law. At least the version they had in Florida. Because how do you approach a young boy? Get into a physical altercation with him. I guess Trayvon Martin was stronger than he looked. And at some point you want to pull a gun out and murder this kid. I mean, I think that there's some mental illness going on. I think that he's got a crowd around him. He's become like this martyr in certain communities. Remember George Zimmerman when he auctioned off the weapon that he used to kill Trayvon Martin with? Do you remember that macabre auction that they did? And then eventually the website that was doing it had to shut it down. Then he went to another website. Then he went to another website. I think that website actually did it. Either the second or third website actually auctioned off the gun. So literally somewhere out there, some person who has money in their collection is the gun that killed this young black boy. And this is like something that it must be like a prized possession. Oh my gosh, man. We live in a crazy. Since then, George Zimmerman has been absorbed and embraced by like these white supremacists. Let's call it what it is. Do you remember the guy that took a shot? It was a white. People say, well, somebody should do something to George Zimmerman. Somebody tried to. He's in jail right now. Somebody tried to. He's in jail right now. He tried to. I think it was in Chicago. And it wasn't a black guy. And he tried to go after Zimmerman. I don't know if did he punch him or did he brandish a weapon at him or something like that? I think he shot at him. I think the man shot at him and missed, obviously. That man got 20 years. His name is Matthew Pearson. He got 20 years after his confrontation with George Zimmerman. He shot at him, actually. And apparently Zimmerman was in his truck and dude shot at him. And apparently he claimed that he was acting in self-defense and that Zimmerman had pointed a gun at him. Zimmerman said he didn't. I mean, I don't know if this was road rage or it was like road rage and then dude realized like, oh, that's George Zimmerman. I'm going to take my shot at him. It was a non-black man that took a shot at him. And it was down in Florida. He tried to use the stand your ground law. I guess he had a sense of irony, right? He tried to use stand your ground law against Zimmerman, claiming Zimmerman pulled a gun out, but it didn't go so bueno for him. It was no good. It didn't go so good for him at all. And apparently the two of them had some kind of history or something. Like that wasn't the first time that they had an altercation. But when people say, well, why is George Zimmerman? That's right. Because nobody thinks he's worth 20 years to life. That's why. Nobody thinks he's worth that amount of time. That's why. I mean, who wants to give up 20 years of their life for George Zimmerman? Do you? Obviously not. No, you do not. I mean, no matter how. So if you see George Zimmerman, you taking a shot at him. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think people say that, but they really thinking they want somebody else to do it, is what I think. People say that, but I think what really it is they want other people to do it. When people say, well, somebody take a shot, what it mean is want somebody else doing it because they got stuff they got family to take care of. They ain't going out like that. So Zimmerman he's alleging that his character has been defamed because, you know, he was acquitted on all charges. So from his standpoint and his supporters, they're like, hey, what else you want from us? The lawyer and the family put out a statement through their lawyer. And essentially what they're saying is that they feel like this is a frivolous lawsuit and there's nothing to it. And they just want Zimmerman to go away. The name of the documentary is called The Trayvon Hoax. That's what it's called. How disrespectful is that? The Trayvon Hoax. They made it super personal. And the documentary, which I have not seen and didn't even know it existed until I started reading about what this fool is doing, George Zimmerman. But it accuses the Martin family of engineering false testimony Yeah. So let's take a quick break and we'll come right back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, live, local, and vocal, broadcasting live from Cincinnati, Ohio. The number is 513-873-7134. We'll continue our conversation about this and many other things, including 3 things to kind of like put on your radar screen for 2020, for the early part of 2020. And we'll be right back.
With the Bloomberg Urban Report, I'm Donna Wilson. Fewer people to receive food stamps. Hundreds of thousands of people who rely on the federal food stamp program will lose their benefits under a new Trump administration rule that will tighten work requirements for recipients. SNAP, or the food stamp program, currently feeds more than 36 million people. Well, there's more color on the board. Nike recently added Thashunda Brown Duckett to its board of directors. Duckett is CEO of Chase Consumer Banking, a division of J.P. Morgan Chase. She's also the executive sponsor of J.P. Morgan's Advancing Black Pathways program, which helps African Americans achieve economic success. And the owners of the New York Mets are in talks to sell up to 80% of the Major League Baseball team to billionaire Steve Cohen, who's already an investor in the club. That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. I am pleased to announce the free Train the Trainer Masterclass coming to Cincinnati on Thursday, December the 19th, sponsored by Walker Funeral Home and Lamar. The Masterclass will train people just like you, as well as parents, teachers, physicians, youth workers, nurses, and mentors on how to develop better skills to save our kids from pipeline to prison, bullying, reduce gun violence, homicide, suicides, domestic violence, and drug abuse. The Train the Trainer Masterclass, 5 p.m. doors open with a business connection. 6 to 7 p.m. free dinner reception. 7 p.m. Train the Trainer Masterclass. Free Comfsy lotion for everyone. Renew Community Church, 2129 West North Bend Road in College Hill. Register at the door December the 19th or sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass at SundayConnectCircle.org. That's SundayConnectCircle.org. Get your free Train the Trainer Masterclass flyer in the Cincinnati Herald. I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. Are you struggling with something right now in your life that no matter how hard you work on that struggle, it just never seems to go away? A health challenge, a mental challenge, a financial or relationship struggle. Did you know that 100% of your current struggles are due to what negatively happened to you from birth to 7 years of age? Did you know that there is something that you could do about this struggle? Let us help you rewrite your life, along with 200 other leaders that I plan to train in this life-changing masterclass. Sign up today for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass, being held on Thursday, December the 19th at Renew Community Church. Food and refreshments will be served. Go to SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for free. That's SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass.
Hey everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I'm sorry, I had to repost something. I initially had posted in the Facebook page about the Cincinnati Police exam, and it was a wrong link. I had to take that down with the quicks, and I reposted for you. So please follow the link that's up right now, and I'll repost for you if you're interested. Of course, the city of Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Police Department, is recruiting right now. Right now. Let me post a link again. I want to make sure you have the most accurate information. There it is. Check that out. Good morning, everybody. And Charlie Winburn's masterclass is coming up on, that's the 19th. And of course, I did get a chance to talk with Charlie Winburn about it. He is super excited, and there's already a lot of people who are interested. So, I don't want you to miss out on that either. Please go to the website, follow the prompts, and get registered, and do your due diligence if you're interested. Don't wait till the last minute. Do not wait till the last minute, choppers. Good morning to you. As we brave yet another day in the new millennium. 2020 is around the corner, y'all. Can y'all believe that? It is right around the corner. We talking about less than 30 days, B. What are you doing? What you doing for New Year's? What's going on? Where's the party at? What are you doing for New Year's Eve? What are you doing for New Year's Eve? New Year's Eve 2020, that's big. We're in the future now. Can nobody stop us now? We're in the future. But we do have some of the same old problems that we need to get rid of, that we need to shake off. Someone is asking me about, did I watch the impeachment hearing yesterday? I did not watch all of it. I caught a lot of it in sort of the replays and the highlights. So I don't have a sense of spending like the entire day watching it. I have done that before. I didn't do it yesterday. Yesterday, you had the Democrats star witnesses for so-called constitutional scholars. We ain't got no black constitutional scholars. There was no black folks there. You had 4 constitutional scholars, and they were talking about the framers and all this kind of stuff. And if these framers were so smart and so ethical, I won't say so smart, so ethical, why were they slave owners? That's another flow for another show. But they talked about whether they thought that Trump's actions had risen to the level of impeachment. And 3 out of 4 of them said yes. So, it is. I'm going to say this again. And there's very little, I think, variance between people who, or not even that. I think that most people already have formulated their opinion about Trump. All this stuff that the Democrats is doing, they're just going through the motions for impeachment here. This ain't convincing nobody. I think the same way about Trump before he ever was elected. I thought he was the head of a crime family. I still believe that. Nothing's changed for me. So I don't believe that these impeachment hearings are really going to change people's opinions about Trump. Now, it may change people's opinions about the other players. So I firmly agree. I firmly believe that the way people feel about Trump is the way they're going to feel about Trump. It's not going to change between now and 2020. You might have a small percentage of the electorate or the population that can be swayed by, current events or new news or fake news or whatever. But most people, either you rolling with Trump or you don't. Period. Either you're voting for him or you're not. And they know already. Now, what it will impact is because it's going to impact some of these congressmen and women who are going to play a major role. They're going to be on TV, Democrats and Republicans. From what I gather, the Democrat nominees don't really want to talk about it. It's a hot potato issue because they don't know which way to go on it. You got Democrats who are doing interviews, and when it comes up, they say things like, well, I didn't run to impeach Donald Trump. That's like the current phrase right now among Democrats, congressmen and women, when they're asked, because some of these folks are going to be up for re-election soon. And they might be in some hot races, and voters might look at them and judge them and the way that they are interacting, both Democrats and Republicans, during this impeachment thing, right? Could have an impact there. Certainly could. It certainly could. So we shall see. We'll have to figure it all out. But again, if you want to share your thoughts, 513-873-7134. So before the break, we were talking about George Zimmerman and the fact that he's now sued the family of Trayvon Martin, and he sued the prosecutors, and he sued the publishers of a publication down in the Miami area, the Florida area. He's being represented by Larry Klayman, who's a high-profile legal crusader tied to conservative causes, and he's the founder of Judicial Watch. So how is Zimmerman tied up with guys like that? I'm telling you, he's like a cause celebre. He's like a martyr. You know, in certain circles, George Zimmerman is the victim. And they feel as if Trayvon Martin and that whole case was an example of how non-black people have to protect themselves and how they can be railroaded by the system. Now, to you and me, that sounds absolutely absurd. To me, that sounds absurd. I can't believe that there's actually human beings and adults that believe that. But clear it is. Clearly it is. Clearly it is. What do you think? 513-873-7134. What is this? Jeff Birding showed up at the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners meeting to ask for a garage for FC Cincinnati? And it didn't go well? That's hilarious. FC Cincinnati President and General Manager Jeff Birding wants Hamilton County to build a 1,000-space garage for the soccer team's new stadium in the West End. Yeah, but this is old news, isn't it? This sounds like, hold on, let me look at the date of this. Yeah, this is like from a year ago. Yeah, I remember this. That's not new news, though. Who posted this? That's not new news. Carolyn, that's not new news. Yeah, I think, that's from last year, I believe. Yeah, because Starjo isn't even up right now in this article. Yeah, I'm like, Jeff Birding just did that again? The hell? That dude. I see everybody's posting it now. George Zimmerman sues Trayvon Martin's mother in desperate $100 million lawsuit. I mean, does the Trayvon Martin family have millions of dollars like that? I mean, $100 million? What is this really all about? Let's see. In the world of sports, a 49ers broadcaster has been suspended because he said that having dark skin with a dark football gives Lamar Jackson an advantage. So if your pigmentation is very similar to the pig skin, then they don't know where the ball is. So apparently this guy got all excited when he was doing his commentary, and now it's cost him. This guy was a broadcaster. He said that the Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, who if you don't know was a dark-skinned guy, he's got thick cornrows, like some Southern stuff. Like, I don't see brothers wearing cornrows like that usually. And apparently he's like the MVP candidate right now, and he's doing great things in the world of the NFL. And this man said he had an advantage because of his dark skin with a dark football. Quote, he's really good at that fake, Lamar Jackson, but when you consider his dark skin with the dark football with the dark uniform, you could not see that thing. He said this on air. I mean, you literally could not see when he was in and out of mesh point. And if you're a half step slow on him in terms of your vision, forget about it. He's out of the gate. Do you think, I'm looking at this man, it looks like he might have been a football player himself. Do you think that he should have been, I mean, it's amazing to me. So you remember the white woman who said that her black coworker resembled the gorilla baby? She still has her job. I went to her Twitter page, I don't know, within the last few weeks or so. I was just curious one day, like, damn, she still got a job. But this dude has been suspended because he said the dark skin, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you've heard the paper bag test, and now we got to do the football test. The pigskin test. And that's what they call the football. And they'll take the football and I don't know, maybe he's right about that. That's what's so funny. I mean, maybe he's right. I don't know. I'm trying to see here. I mean, I don't know about that because I was going to say look at a basketball. But if you look at a football, footballs are sort of like, some of them are like brown skin footballs. I don't know. I don't think it's relatively that smart a take. That's my issue with it. It's not really that insightful. It's like, we could have did without that point. You know what I'm saying? But in today's sensitive world of racial politics and things like that, I mean, you never know. You never know. He said that it's hard to know where the football is because he's got his dark skin on a dark football. Let me Google a football right now. The NFL football look like. Because he might have a point here. You may not like to say it. I don't think he should have said it. Let me see here. Let me see. I mean, from a distance, like, can you always see the football in a person's hand? No. But that's white or black. I don't know. If you're up close with somebody, are they going to lose the sight of the football? I'm looking at footballs now, NFL. These footballs are not like, yeah, I guess there's some brothers. I mean, I can clearly see the ball. It's got white laces and it's got these gold lettering. I mean, I think dude is not too bright. And I think that maybe somebody might have said, I think maybe somebody, that sounds like something that somebody said to him. And he's like, oh, good point. And it's really not a good point. So in essence, I think this man just lost his job because he's not too bright. It's just not a bright thing to say at all. But what's your take on it? I know I've thrown a lot of things out there, but let me get back to your comments. Pam writes, good morning, all. Good morning to you, Pam. I see you doing her thing. Cincy Tigers writes, how can we win the ticks? I want to go. Okay. I got you. See here. Mike Jones writes, good morning, Choppers. Luzon writes, good morning, Choppers. Drop, if you still wondering where Barack is, him and his beautiful wife just purchased an $11.5 million mansion in Martha's Vineyard. I saw that. Becoming president, man. Shh. Somebody cashing in. And I'm happy for the Obamas. I'm not mad at them one bit. The Obamas got a brand new, beautiful space. I saw it. I'm happy for them. They deserve it. They deserve it. You know why Obama deserves it? Obama deserves it because he was faithful while he was in office. Now, one of the things that I liked about Barack Obama is that it came out that like 8 years, so within a decade, 8 years before he became president is when they paid off their student loans. So that told me that they had a real understanding of what that was like, real world, right? Because a lot of these guys that run for office on that level are rich or they're born into money. Look at Baby Bush, look at Trump. Both of these guys was born into money. These mofos didn't work a day in their life. Not really. So now that Barack Obama is able to cash in, you know, he made all this money from his books and then like he does a lot of speaking engagements. I mean, as a U.S. president, I've read he might be making $500,000 per speech. Go make your money, Barack. For a speech? Man, make your money. He was faithful. He didn't embarrass the black family. He never dogged out his wife. And I think that goes a long way. I'm going to stick to that. Hey, good morning, Drop. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Miss Ivy, and all the beautiful people in the Chop Shop. I am also very proud of the Obamas and the success that they've achieved since leaving the White House. But my question for you, Mr. Ivy, I gave you a lot of time to see if you were going to mention it, but since I was mentioned in the Chop Shop by Brother Mazone about where is Barack Obama, I'm just wondering, are you reading all these headlines on your news feed about all these former Team Obama people are joining our number one guy right now, the South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg. Are you aware of that, Mr. Ivy?
No, I'm not aware of that. Nope.
Okay, well, I'll give you the opportunity to let your little fingers go to work, but former Obama shadow guy, his number one aide, former North Carolina basketball player Reggie Love, has officially joined Team Buttigieg, as well as one of Barack Obama's former economic advisor,
Yeah.
Austin Goolsbee. Austin Goolsbee has also joined the team.
Okay.
And my question to you, if you think you can answer this question, is: do you think that with all these former Team Obama people joining Mayor Pete Buttigieg and his recent surge and the decline of Elizabeth Warren and the exit of Kamala Harris, which is almost a total elimination of Team Light Skin in the 2020 campaign, because Cory Booker, his days are numbered as well. And, of course, Julian Castro, the brown candidate that's running for president, he's still in the race, but he's barely hanging on. So my question to you, sir, and anyone else who's listening, is this combined effort of Team Obama and this unknown little white former military guy, outly gay, married to a man, is it clear now that this is the guy that Barack Obama is endorsing without saying that he's endorsing? Do you think that's the case, sir?
Can you run the last thing you said back about endorsing?
Yeah, the last thing I said was, we all know that Barack Obama has not officially endorsed any of the remaining, I think, 15 candidates. But we all know that the front runner, Sleepy Joe Biden, obviously his former vice president, has not officially been endorsed by Barack. But we all know that Joe Biden is using Barack Obama as a way of endorsing him. So do you think that because of all these former Team Obama people joining Mayor Pete Buttigieg, that this is the guy that Barack Obama will ultimately endorse?
I think that the most important endorsement that could come from Barack Obama, former president, still loved by the people, still vilified by his,
about that one.
Still loved by the people, still vilified by his opponents. But I think the most important, we can agree, disagree. The most important endorsement will become the ultimate endorsement against Trump. And I think that Barack Obama will get behind whoever the Democrat nominee is and endorse them over Trump.
But Mr. Ivy, I mean, you are a powerful, influential member of the media, and you possess a unique ability to tell a story to capture the listener's attention as well as imagination. So, Mr. Ivy, can you imagine telling this story? The first black president of the United States of America does not endorse his vice president, but instead he endorses a unknown mayor from the Midwest who is white, openly gay, and married to another man.
Again,
how do you think that is going to help with black turnout?
I mean,
how could you tell that story?
It's a hypothetical. How could I tell that story? Again, it's not a story that we have to tell yet.
Oh, you will be telling it.
No, not necessarily. I mean, listen, if at the end of the day, Pete Buttigieg ends up getting the Democrat nomination, then I think Barack Obama is going to get behind whoever that nominee is ultimately, no matter who it is, over Trump. Uh-huh. You keep thinking you think that Barack Obama has to pick and choose during the process. He might just sit it all out and just get behind whoever the people, so-called the people, decide.
Okay, Mr. Ivy, we all know that the black vote, regardless of the demographic within that black vote, we all know that the desperate Democrats need 88% or higher of black turnout. Am I correct, sir? Yes, that is the correct statement.
I haven't done the numbers, but that number sounds it seems to ring true.
Okay, because that was the number that Hillary Clinton received in her loss to Trump in 2016. So that's why I say 88%.
Yeah, I knew where you were going with it. I've seen other analysts throw that number out before. So yeah.
Right. Okay. So considering the position of the black candidates in the race, which pretty much there aren't any right now. It's pretty clear that none of the black candidates or candidates of color up to this point can say that they are a legitimate candidate for the nomination in the Democrat Party.
Okay.
That is a true statement. Okay, so the desperate Democrats will have to have someone on that ticket that is going to at least maintain the interest in the black community. Because again, when black folks are working, their pockets are fat and they eating good, it's hard to get them to turn out in November to vote for a Democrat who wants to give away free stuff, which means higher taxes. So,
are you hip to Survey USA, the pollsters? They call themselves Survey USA.
I pretty much follow Real Clear Politics because, you know, that has all the polls.
Okay, so if you go to Real Clear Politics this morning,
yes,
and it's going to have the latest polls as of like going back to like November, right? Because I don't think have there been any recent polls since like November? Like just last week?
A poll comes out every Friday.
Every Friday. So, okay. So I'm on Real Clear Politics right now. Survey USA are the pollsters, and they do the head-to-head polls. Okay?
Yes.
This is all I know. I don't know anything about their methodology. I don't know anything about these folks. And what they're reporting right now is that head-to-head Biden is plus 13 against Trump.
So what? What does that mean?
It just means that the people in this particular survey, when they were asked a question about Biden or Trump, that Biden was up by plus 13. That's what it means.
Well, first of all, like you said, Nate, you don't know the internals of the poll.
I know, but
very important.
Yeah, but we're on Real Clear Politics, though. You just put out Real Clear Politics as a credible source, and so did I.
Yes.
So let's just assume it's a credible source then, and let's talk about the substance of it and not attack it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, no, that's a false premise, Mr. Ivy.
It's not a false premise. I'm on a website that you recommended and I recommended. We've gone to this website before. And I'm just giving you the most relevant the latest information that's on this website that we both said was credible.
But Mr. Ivy, Real Clear Politics is an average of all polls. Okay, so if you pull out one single poll that's part of the average, you have to know the internals of the poll. Because if it's a head-to-head poll, Trump versus Biden, and the poll is taken in the state of California, I mean, come on, Nate.
I mean, listen, let's assume that this poll is a poll of people who might vote. I don't know where it was. But it's on a website that I view to be, credible. You got to look into everything. I'm just saying. Yeah. So what they also found was that head to head Sanders versus Trump, Sanders is plus 13 over Trump. Head to head with Warren and Trump, Warren is plus 7. Buttigieg is plus 7.
What does it say? What does it say for Harris?
Plus 5.
Now, come on, Nate. Are you serious? What does it say for Mayor Pete?
Mayor Pete, plus 7.
Come on, Nate. Really?
Yeah, I think you're making a point on that one. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay, so the reason I
strike it from the record
real quick. Thank you, Mr. Ivy. You are a man of integrity. But my whole point is, Nate, we're talking about the Democrat Party. Okay, forget about Trump because we know he's going to be the Republican candidate. We all know that. But we're talking about the Democrats and how important the black support is for their candidate. And Nate, this is a party of identity politics. You got other Democrats accusing their own party of being racist toward Kamala Harris. And saying that ain't no black people on the stage for the next debate. I mean, come on, Nate. This is the Democrat Party here. So my point is, Team Obama is very important, whether Obama says anything or not. Because at this point, Barack Obama is starting to become Colin Kaepernick.
Well, you know what? You know, while you've been talking, I've been doing two things at once. Listening to you.
I know.
But I've
I know
also,
how you roll, Mr. Ivy.
Yeah, but I also been looking deeper into this Survey USA. And I want to resubmit that evidence earlier because here's what I found out. So it is relevant to our conversation because you're trying to make the point that only Biden can win. And I'm not so sure if that's true. And so that's the reason why I gave you those numbers. This poll was conducted after the Democratic candidate debate in Atlanta. So these are Democrats. You know what I'm saying? These are, certain types of Democrats, the kind of folks that go into the debate. You're going to have a lot of people that's really close to the Democrat Party, very friendly to the Democrat Party, operatives, donors, all kind of stuff. That's the kind of people that's going to be in that room, right? So
that's America, baby.
Yeah,
that's
media.
America.
You're going to have media in the room. So just know that's the kind of room. And this is what that room said. So this room said that even if Biden isn't the nominee, they prefer Sanders, Warren, or Buttigieg over Trump.
Right. I know, but Nate, why does the media and the Democrat pundits continue to focus on the fact that Joe Biden is the only one that's getting the black vote, even though it's the older black vote? They never talk about the younger black vote.
That's because he's polling so high. If he wasn't, he'd be less of a story.
I know, but Nate, guess who's getting the younger black vote? It's Bernie Sanders. It's Bernie Sanders. So the Democrat Party and Barack Obama have come to the realization, that it is possible. It is possible that the black voter, the young black voter, will vote for Mayor Pete Buttigieg, if he has the right campaign. And if you read your timeline on Twitter, I've been posting stuff for you and your followers so you can see what's happening with the Mayor Pete Buttigieg campaign and the close association with the Barack Obama team. Okay, so that's all I'm pointing out, Mr. Ivy. I'm just pointing out the fact that in December, only a month, I think about a month or two away from the first votes in Iowa. Mayor Pete Buttigieg just dropped an ad campaign in South Carolina. He announces the addition to his team of Reggie Love. Kamala Harris drops out. I'm just saying, Mr. Ivy, the way I see politics, things are starting to change within the Democrat Party as far as the last concept of we could put up another light-skinned African-American and lock up the black vote. But they're finding out, Nate, that the black vote in 2019 or in 2020 will be split between old Negroes like the overseer, Mason Mahler, and the young ones like Terrence Braxton. Those are two different demographics within the black community. And I'm telling you, Mr. Ivy, in 2020, it's going to be a whole lot of finger pointing within the Democrat Party if they don't have a black person somewhere on that ticket all through the summer leading up to the election. So on that note, Mr. Ivy, thank you for giving me the time to drop this science. Drop Squad 52. What's in your wallet? Peace.
All right, take it easy. I appreciate the flows, man. We'll go ahead and rack him, but he's very biased. Very biased. I don't care who. But again, I'm not waiting to hear what Barack Obama says. I'm not sitting around waiting to hear what Barack Obama's going to endorse. His endorsement, it don't really. Do I care? I don't really. It won't really make a difference. That's not going to be like a super motivator for who I vote for. Now I'll listen to it. He might in his explanation say something. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, I'm rocking with that. But I don't think that black Americans are waiting to see what Barack Obama's going to endorse. I don't believe that. I know I'm not. Are you? But see, that's how they try to play black people. You know, these black Republicans will try to make it seem like black voters are dumb, that all of us are caught up with the Messiah complex, waiting for a Messiah to lead us to the promised land. That's not true. Barack Obama he touched people. He excited people. He inspired people. Now, whether it was a con game or he came through all the way or whatever, it don't really matter. My point is he inspired people. They saw something different in him. Did they get something different? I mean, you know, you have to make up your own mind on that one. I can't tell you, but Angela writes, ain't no one courageous enough to put him to sleep. So yawn. Well, you talking about the Zimmerman? Somebody tried. He's sitting in jail right now for 20 years. White dude. A non-black man. He shot at George Zimmerman, shattered his he could have killed him. Like, he tried to kill George Zimmerman. He did Zimmerman like they did Tupac, only they missed. Mazone writes, good morning, choppers. Drop, if you still wondering where Barack, I think I read that. Ray writes, I know they're kidding. As many white folks I've seen on diners, drive-in, and dives. Cincy Tigers writes, I find it interesting how we always talking forgiveness and these devils have no mercy or shame in them. Makes my blood boil. Mike Jones writes, I'm sure the con in chief supports Zimmerman. Yes, I'm sure he probably does. And it's safe for him to do it because Zimmerman was acquitted. Remember that. He was acquitted. The law said, no, he's not responsible. It was self-defense. Angela writes, you don't have a shooting at a cookout in a club or on a street corner quicker for much less. And over the murder of a child? For me, I thought it was absolutely just bad taste. Leave the Martin. I mean, they've lost enough. They've lost enough. Why continue to all this pain? But we know that George Zimmerman has no shame. When he auctioned off the murder weapon that killed Trayvon Martin, or that he used to kill Trayvon Martin, because the weapon didn't do it, he did it. I knew right then the man had no shame whatsoever. But we knew that in the aftermath, the position that he took. He took the position from the jump like no big deal. I see a lot of people are posting about the Trump administration move to remove 700,000 people from food stamps. There is a nonprofit organization that operates here in Ohio, not Cincinnati. It's called Policy Matters Now, Amy Hanauer. And I was on their website. They did an analysis, and what they found is that, you know, a lot of Ohioans are going to get, you know, perhaps ushered off of the system. And that some people are going to see like a $45 reduction in their food stamp benefits or the benefits that they're getting. And to me, I think that's a travesty because, you know, we have an administration that cares more about billionaires than people who are very, very poor and they might be on the system. And $45 may seem like nothing to you and me. You may be like $45, no big deal. Although to me, $45 is a lot of money, but $45, and it's like when you multiply that by perhaps hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of people that you're cutting $45 a month from, that can be a big sum. But they're underestimating the impact of $45 on people who are the poor or the working poor. That's a lot of money. If you working poor, that is a hell of a lot of money, man. You can't afford to lose $45. And we just take it so easily, right? It's no big deal. No big deal. And I'm just wondering about these people that are struggling. Again, there are people who are working poor. And they get some assistance, but they are poor by every definition. And it's not because they're lazy or anything like that. It's just, you know, circumstances of life. Listen, our culture is creating more billionaires than ever before. There's more billionaires around the world. There's more United States billionaires than ever before. So when you have that kind of highly concentrated wealth, it produces, and in my opinion, can only be created if on some levels there is a high concentration of poverty. There's no way. Everybody wants more money, more money. Those that have money, we put them up on a pedestal. All kinds of stuff. Let me see how the arts are helping to jumpstart Silverton's economy. Okay, that's a dope article. I like that. Very interesting. Good morning to you. Oh, nice. Yeah, thank you for posting that. Appreciate it. 700,000 people will lose food stamps. And now they have these work requirements where you got to work and stuff like that. And then I'm not really for the work requirement, to be honest with you. I don't know how I feel about that. Because, if you're on the system, you got these young kids or whatever. Maybe they're talking about adults who are on the system or receiving some kind of benefits. Kentucky did that and they got caught up in the courts. And that's the big new thing that the Republicans want to do right now. They want to cut the so-called size of government. And see, what you're going to hear is, even if a Democrat wins in 2020, this is one thing to look forward to late in 2020. But even if a Democrat wins in 2020, watch the Republicans shift back to being the stewards of the deficit. Everything they'll talk about will be about the deficit. It'll justify everything they don't want to sign, and it'll justify everything they don't want to support from the Democrat president because we can't afford it and we're leveraging the future of our children. You haven't heard them talk about anything about the deficit. That's because a Republican is in office. The new rule affects people between the ages of 18 and 49 who are childless and not disabled. Under current rules, this group is required to work at least 20 hours a week for more than 3 months over a 36-month period to qualify for food stamps. But states have been able to create waivers for areas that face high unemployment. Is that a bad rule or a good rule? I'll read it again. The new rule affects people between the ages of 18 and 49 who are childless and not disabled. So these are people receiving benefits who are not disabled and they don't have children. Under current rules, this group is required to work at least 20 hours for more than 3 months over a 36-month period to qualify for food stamps. So you got to do 3 months over a 36-month period to qualify for food stamps. And in states where they have high unemployment, they have waivers. Okay. The new rule would limit states from waiving these standards, instead restricting their use to those areas that have a 6% unemployment rate or higher. The national unemployment rate in October was 3.1%. I'm sorry, 3.6%. How do I feel about this? 18 to 49. Those are your working years. Those are your strongest working years. Is there anything wrong with the requirement for people in that particular that I just described to you? 18 to 49, no kids, no disabled, no disabilities. You tell me. Here's breaking news. Nancy Pelosi just announced that the House is moving forward with articles of impeachment. So this thing is moving fast. Here we go. Nancy Pelosi just said that she is asking the House Judiciary Committee to proceed with drafting articles of impeachment against President Donald Trump. Pelosi, in a statement, said that the facts of Trump's alleged wrongdoing involve Ukraine are uncontested. So there's no more talk about whether there's going to be a movement for articles of impeachment. This is what it is. This information is just coming out. Quote, the president. Let me see if I can get you some audio. Hold on one second here. Let me see if I can get some audio for us and we can hear from Nancy Pelosi herself. This information just came out as I was in the middle of that flow there. And I want to talk about the most relevant thing that's going on. Let me see if I can scale this back and. All right, here, let's see. Okay, so we're waiting on live coverage here. So it looks like. Okay, so it looks like we're moving forward with the articles of impeachment. So the Democrats are going to move forward. They're serious about moving forward and impeaching Donald Trump. Are you surprised? And we're standing by for a live video. If I can get the live video, then I'll play the audio for you, and we can hear what she has to say in real time. So it's all moot then. Doesn't really matter what we've been talking back and forth. I mean, this is going forward. You know, it looks like it's going to go forward. The Democrats have a majority in the House of Representatives, which means that they'll probably likely proceed to the U.S. Senate, where the Republicans have a majority. And Trump has already resigned himself to that fact. He's in the media talking about how he wants to go to the Senate and he may testify then. So let's see. Mason Mueller writes, go impeach that stupid, corrupt MF. Damn, TNT, that breaks my heart. I'm sure he has to have some serious discipline and self-control not to snap Zimmerman's neck. I'll continue to pray for him. My God. TNT writes, I met Trayvon Martin's family earlier this year. I do remember that. This family is still torn from their loss. I saw the dad run off stage and break down the end of the ceremony. He said he will never forget the man who killed his son. Right. Because that would be me. I could never get over that. It never had to happen. George Zimmerman is a great example of mind your own business. You're not law enforcement. You're not trained to do that. And it was racist. The whole thing, in my opinion, was racist. If that was a young non-black kid, a white child, I don't believe that he would have approached the child in the same way or have been looking at him as suspicious in the same way. And Trayvon Martin was not a criminal. Trayvon Martin was going to watch the All-Star game. He picked up some little Snapple and some Skittles and was going back to watch the game. Ironically, I was at my house here in Cincinnati watching the game. What you do, just watching the game a little bit, it's on his background or whatever as you're doing whatever you're doing. And this coward brutally not only profiled him, but then approached him and shot the boy. The boy. Because Trayvon Martin was not a man, he was a boy. In my opinion, he was a minor. I don't hang out with people who don't have jobs. Not buying for another grown-ass man. Get a job. TNT writes, I reposted his speech on my page. They have annual gala in March in Miami on Trayvon's birthday. Mike Jones writes, food stamp reform is a political tool. It's a smart part of the budget. It's a small part of the budget, strictly window dressing. We all know the stereotypes that the GOP have popped up. Okay, so nobody is moved by the fact that these individuals are 18 to 49. These are able-bodied adults. Why are they on the system? Are they students? Now, if you're a student, that's different. The USDA said that about 688,000 people will lose access to food stamps, and just look. The name of the executive order is called "Reducing Poverty in America by Promoting Opportunity and Economic Mobility." So it's the same old thing. I mean, Republicans want to kick you off of the welfare system because they feel like if necessity is the best teacher, right? The best motivator, and of course it is. But is that the best way to do it? Reducing poverty. Oh yeah, guys, we reduced poverty because we got less people on the system. But we've got less people on the system because we redefine what it means to be on the system. So now we can claim victory. What? Apparently, the new work requirement rule will save the government $5.5 billion over the next 5 years. So they know this is all set up because they know that people won't be able to be eligible or will struggle with it. And they won't be able to keep it the requirement, which I don't know why you wouldn't be. I mean, if you 18 years old and you getting government assistance and you have to keep a job and work 20 hours a week, now you get to keep the money from the job, which presumably you got to have some kind of income coming in anyway. I don't understand the circumstances of these individuals. I need more information. Like, Wait a minute. You can get on the system and you don't have no kids and you don't have no disabilities? You can do that? Where did they do that at? I didn't know that. What do you have to do to qualify for that? I'm not interested myself, but I'm just asking for a friend. Oh, my God. I'm just asking for a friend. Let's see here. George writes, more Dunning-Kruger-ish. Is that right? Actually, Trump won by winning Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania by 0.7%. That's 77,000 votes. More people voted against Trump than voted for him. People get mad when you point out the facts and not some BS uber black. I'm woke with alternative facts, BS. Open your mind before you open your mouth. It's really that simple. Education is undefeated. Education is undefeated. If you get $100 a month in supplement for food through SNAP, and 45 gets cut, that's a huge hit. Food assistance is essential. That's a huge hit. I mean, that's 45% of your all the money you had coming in. That's a huge hit, but that's what it is. Okay, let me see if I can get some Nancy Pelosi audio here.
One of the reasons why Democrats now control the House is because you have those dozens of Democrats who were able to flip districts that President Trump won in 2016 that those Democrats won in 2018. So it's those Democrats who represent right-leaning districts who I'm told are really nervous about potentially going.
I'm not sure that's what we're really looking for here, actually. Let me see. Here it is. I'll go here. I'll pull that up in a second. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, the latest news, and I mean like the latest news, is that Nancy Pelosi has decided to move forward. She's the Speaker of the House, by the way, second in line to the presidency. She says there's no choice but to impeach. Well, I mean, at this point, yeah. At this point, I mean, they've drawn this thing out to the point where it needs to be dealt with. So let me see if we can get some audio here. I think it's coming up right now. Yeah, just give me a second here. It'll start. Or should I say she'll come to the podium. It's already up right now. You can see the 6 American flags in the background, neatly folded. And you can see the podium in the foreground. And she'll be addressing. I mean, she just did this a few minutes ago, but I want to get a chance for us to hear it together. She says, no choice but to impeach, huh? Here she comes. White suit. Check this out.
Good morning. Let us begin where our founders began in 1776. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bonds which have connected them with another. With those words, our founders courageously began our Declaration of Independence from an oppressive monarch for, among other grievances, the king's refusal to follow rightfully passed laws. In the course of today's events, it becomes necessary for us to address, among other grievances, the president's failure to faithfully execute the law. When crafting the Constitution, the founders feared the return of a monarchy in America. And having just fought a war of independence, they specifically feared the prospect of a king president corrupted by foreign influence. During the Constitutional Convention, James Madison, the architect of the Constitution, warned that a president might betray his trust to foreign powers, which might prove fatal to the Republic. Another founder, Governor Morris, feared that a president may be bribed by a greater interest to betray his trust. He emphasized that this magistrate is not the king. The people are the king. They therefore created a constitutional remedy to protect against a dangerous or corrupt leader.
Is she tired?
Impeachment. Unless the Constitution contained an impeachment provision, one founder warned, a president might, quote, spare no effort or means whatsoever to get himself reelected. Similarly, George Mason insisted that a president who procured his appointment in his first instance through improper
George
and corrupt
Mason?
acts
Who the hell is that?
might repeat his.
What's she talking about? Get to the good stuff, Nancy. George Mason.
In the debate over impeachment at the Constitutional Convention, George Mason also asked, "Shall any man
Who in
be
the
above
hell is
justice?
George Mason?
Shall that man be above it?
We don't know who the hell George Mason is. Who is that?
Extensive injustice."
Should I know that?
In his great wisdom, he knew that injustice committed by the president erodes the rule of law, the very idea
is boring
of
the hell
fair
out of me.
justice, which is the bedrock of our democracy.
Uh-huh.
And if we allow a president to be above the law, we do so surely at the peril of our republic. In America, no one is above the law. Over the past few weeks, through the Intelligence Committee working with the Foreign Affairs and Oversight Committees, the American people have heard the testimony of truly patriotic career public servants, distinguished diplomats, and decorated war heroes, some of the president's own appointees. The facts are uncontested. The president abused his power for his own personal political benefit at the expense of our national security by withholding military aid and crucial Oval Office meeting in exchange for an announcement of an investigation into his political rival. Yesterday, at the Judiciary Committee, the American people heard testimony from leading American constitutional scholars who illuminated without a doubt that the president's actions are a profound violation of the public trust. The president's actions have seriously violated the Constitution, especially when he says and acts upon the belief. Article 2 says I can do whatever I want. No. His wrongdoing strikes at the very heart of our Constitution, a separation of powers, 3 co-equal branches, each a check and balance on the other.
Okay, we get it.
A republic, if we can keep it.
We get it.
Said Benjamin Franklin. Our democracy is what is at stake.
Did she say Benjamin
Franklin? The
Franklin?
president leaves us no choice but to act because he is trying to corrupt, once again, the election for his own benefit. The president has engaged in abuse of power, undermining our national security and jeopardizing the integrity of our elections. His actions are in defiance of the vision of our founders and the oath of office that he takes to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Sadly, but with confidence and humility, with allegiance to our founders and a heart full of love for America, today I am asking our chairman to proceed with articles of impeachment. I commend our committee chairs and our members for their somber approach to actions which others.
So there it is. Those are the articles of impeachment. And that means that for the first time ever in American history, we're going to have impeachment proceedings during an election year. And we'll see what the hell that actually means. What does that really mean for us moving forward? I'll share a few thoughts. Plus, we'll get back to our original flows. You know, how to know your worth. And 3 things to look forward to. Or 3 things to be on your radar screen that should be on your radar screen for 2020. We'll be back with more right after this.
With the Bloomberg Urban Report, I'm Donna Wilson. Fewer people to receive food stamps. Hundreds of thousands of people who rely on the federal food stamp program will lose their benefits under a new Trump administration rule that will tighten work requirements for recipients. SNAP, or the food stamp program, currently feeds more than 36 million people. Well, there's more color on the board. Nike recently added Thashunda Brown Duckett to its board of directors. Duckett is CEO of Chase Consumer Banking, a division of J.P. Morgan Chase. She's also the executive sponsor of J.P. Morgan's Advancing Black Pathways program, which helps African Americans achieve economic success. And the owners of the New York Mets are in talks to sell up to 80% of the Major League Baseball team to billionaire Steve Cohen, who's already an investor in the club. That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. I am pleased to announce the free Train the Trainer Masterclass coming to Cincinnati on Thursday, December the 19th, sponsored by Walker Funeral Home and Lamar. The Masterclass will train people just like you, as well as parents, teachers, physicians, youth workers, nurses, and mentors on how to develop better skills to save our kids from pipeline to prison, bullying, reduce gun violence, homicides, suicides, domestic violence, and drug abuse. The Train the Trainer Masterclass, 5 p.m. doors open with a business connection. 6 to 7 p.m. free dinner reception. 7 p.m. Train the Trainer Masterclass. Free Comfsy lotion for everyone. Renew Community Church, 2129 West North Bend Road in College Hill. Register at the door December the 19th or sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass at SundayConnectCircle.org. That's SundayConnectCircle.org. Get your free Train the Trainer Masterclass flyer in the Cincinnati Herald. I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. Are you struggling with something right now in your life that no matter how hard you work on that struggle, it just never seems to go away? A health challenge, a mental challenge, a financial or relationship struggle. Did you know that 100% of your current struggles are due to what negatively happened to you from birth to 7 years of age? Did you know that there is something that you could do about this struggle? Let us help you rewrite your life, along with 200 other leaders that I plan to train in this life-changing masterclass. Sign up today for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass, being held on Thursday, December the 19th at Renew Community Church. Food and refreshments will be served. Go to SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for free. That's SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass.
People are always talking about the stock market, always looking to invest in a good opportunity, something with the potential to grow. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock where you invest to make money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for everybody. I could be the first college graduate in my family, the first district attorney from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there will be a second and a third. This can really be the start of something. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Very interesting article about Kamala Harris. Here's the title. It was USA Today from yesterday. I saw this after the show. And here's the title. Kamala Harris' failure to bridge left-center divide is a warning. Unite or Trump wins. Harris was the only 2020 Democrat who made a serious appeal to both liberals and moderates. Is that right? That black people, I put it out there on my Facebook page. Yesterday's title was, or it was 2 days ago's title of the show was, we talked about Kamala Harris stepping out and was that a missed opportunity from the community? And the response I got was, hell no. But of course, that's not emblematic of how everybody feels about it. Dismissed as an imposter. Yeah, she was dismissed. Quite interesting. We will see how this all goes. What the hell? Honey, that's hilarious. That is crazy. Now, I'm in the world of media, so when things happen in the world of media, I like to talk about it. There's a 49ers broadcaster, white guy, former player, who said that, quote unquote, having dark skin with a dark football gives Lamar Jackson, who is the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens, an advantage. And he was trying to make the point that if the so-called pigskin is the same pigmentation is similar to the pigmentation of the athlete, then is it fair? And, he's making it seem like the ball is invisible. What? Magical Negroes, man. I guess he thinks that Lamar Jackson's some kind of genie or something. I guess that's like a different type of jazz hand, huh? Well, now this broadcaster, his name is Tim Ryan with a Y, and he's now been suspended. Should he have been suspended or should he be fired? Apparently, the comment was made during a weekly statement on somebody else's show. So he wasn't even a host. He was like a guest that comes on and does a weekly segment. And this was the best you came up with. You know what I'm saying? I've done the whole weekly segment thing, calling into other shows. It's fun. It can be fun. And I know that you pre-prep. You think about what you're going to say and you probably write it down. So he actually wrote that down or thought about it like, yeah, that'll be a great point. Never heard this on ESPN. Yeah, Stephen A. slipping. I never heard him give this hot take. What an idiot. So your take is that his skin is the same pigmentation of the football. So therefore, that's why he's so good. It just goes to show you it's 2019 and a black quarterback is bringing this out in people. He's playing a football game, but because he's playing a position of quarterback, you got all this conversation about black quarterbacks, which I guess is good, but it's just sad that it's even a conversation at all. And of course, right before the break, we heard from Nancy Pelosi and she says no choice but to impeach. And she mentioned Ben Franklin and Thomas Madison or something like that, James Madison. These names sound vaguely familiar to me. I'm not sure who these people are. But there it is. So do you think that this is worth the time that the Democrats are putting into it? Do you think that at the end of the day, this is going to have an impact on the 2020 election? And if so, how is it going to impact the election? How is it going to impact the election? Two quick things to keep your eye on as it relates to this in 2020. If you're going to follow this impeachment thing, is that you should follow Fox News. You should follow Trump's base to see how they are impacted by it. So far, I don't think that they care. And as long as Trump's base is with him, then, hey, he's going to be cool all the way out. And then if the Republican base is with Trump, that even gives these Republican senators even more of a reason to not vote against Trump. At least in my humble opinion. Do you think that this is going to have an impact in the 2020 election? If so, how do you think it's going to have an impact? Do you think that Trump being impeached while he's also campaigning is going to negatively impact him to the point where it could cost him the election? Or maybe it's all about death by 1,000 cuts. All they got to do is just a bunch of cuts, people, 1,000 questions about you. And then, maybe you can have an impact. I don't know. You tell me. 513-873-7134. The other thing to watch for is for Byron Allen. The Byron Allen case, Byron Allen versus Comcast and Charter Communications, if not settled out of court, it's not going to be settled by the court until the summer of 2020. So this is a long-term kind of conversation over the next 6-7 months. But certainly keep your eyes on. Look for a deal to be made. Because Byron Allen has been sort of threatening Comcast. And see, what he's threatening them with is the whole discovery phase where, they have to present evidence either denying what he's alleging and or, making their own case. And I guess it seems like Byron is kind of like, well, maybe they might be too sensitive to let some of this information get out there into the public sphere. So maybe they'll just go ahead and give me what I want. What we found out about Comcast is that Comcast doesn't really care about black people. Comcast, who is also the owner of NBC Universal, you know what they just did to Gabby Union? Gabrielle Union, she got fired because, she didn't want to be in a racially insensitive environment. NBC Universal was owned by Comcast, same people that want to take away and did take away your internet rights, whether you know it or have felt it or not. In terms of net neutrality, they were one of the biggest supporters of doing away with the net neutrality rules. Comcast don't care about black people because Comcast, what they'll do is they'll fake try to give black people something, but they're not really going to give you the resources that you need to be super successful. That's how you know when the bullshit starts. That's how you can cut through the bullshit. You know, when people want you to be successful, they give you the resources necessary. And what we found out from P. Diddy is that, you know, he said from the jump that Comcast pretty much, yeah, we got this whole channel. It wasn't like they was giving it away. I mean, this was because they had to they had to give up something in their consolidation efforts, right? So P. Diddy gets his new channel, Revolt, but they're not in every market, and they get no market share from the monthly subscriptions. They get no piece of the monthly subscription whatsoever. Meanwhile, ESPN gets $6 when you pay your bill. If you have ESPN, they get $6 straight off the top. Yeah, I'm sure that's a lot of money. I'm sure that is a lot of money. But Comcast doesn't care about black people. That's what Byron Allen said. I'll take his word for it. Who run the country? The people of Trump's base. Has anyone done the stats on his base? Has it increased or decreased? Well, I mean, I don't know if it's increased or decreased. That is a good question. But in terms of like their connection with him, stronger than ever. Ray Rice, I miss hearing Mignon Clyburn. Me too. I reached out to her in vain. I wasn't able to get her on the show because she dropped one of the best flows of the decade when she talked about, you know, the internet and what was happening and what the Republicans were doing. I mean, I cannot say that she didn't put it out there. And, you know, we followed it. I followed it. Yeah, I have a lot of respect. Very intelligent black woman. I mean, that if you doubt what I'm saying about net neutrality, before you completely dismiss me, then go on YouTube and find that video in which she gave her statement right before they gave the vote to end net neutrality. It's about 10, 15 minutes, and it's the most superlative flow that you're going to hear ever. And she, in a very educated manner, put out step by step what the issue is, but also what the people can do beyond the vote to try to, you know, get control of the internet. It was all a hoax. That damn Barack Obama. Yeah, he wasn't a president, but why would you put Ajit Pai, the current chairman of the FCC, why would you even appoint him? And you're Barack Obama. That's because Barack Obama was trying to be nice and, oh, we're going to appoint Republicans too because everybody loves me. Man, please, you got to stick to your philosophy when you got a chance to do it. Can't be everything to everybody. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Ray. She has so much passion, information, and articulation as to what was going on with net neutrality. And she broke it down far better than I could ever hope to. Well worth it. Matter of fact, let me find it and I'm going to post it. It's right here. It's about 20 minutes. She just went crazy. It was her full dissenting argument. She was 100% against it. Look at it. There it is. Don't you love the digital age? You can watch the video now, dog. You can watch it now. Boom, you can check it out right there. Currently 9:50 a.m. in the Queen City. Good morning to you, and thank you for being here. Mason Waller writes, every time I watch Fox News, I feel stupid for looking at that BS. It's like the sellouts who listen to Rush Limbaugh. Are there any Rush Limbaugh fans in the chop shop? ? I'll wait. ... LMBAO at conservatives on a daily basis. Is that what you're doing? I dance. Nah, I got a fried pork chop. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Brioche. Sorry. George Rice, drop. Ben had an open invite, Tigers. Okay, talking about drop. Jackie Rice, America sends money everywhere. It's homeless people sleeping in the streets. Food stamps cut. How is that fair? It's not fair. I don't think it's fair. If I was president, I wouldn't be thinking about cutting food stamps per se. I mean, you want to make sure your systems are efficient, but that's not where we're wasting our money. Where we wasting our money is the billions of dollars that we spend on war and so-called defense. Who are we afraid of? Who are we afraid of? You know, China is not going to beat us militarily. They're going to beat us because they're going to build a better economy. They're just going to be a more influential world leader than we are. They're going to out-leader us. I guarantee you what's going to happen is because a lot of information is being suppressed right now by the Trump administration. But after Trump leaves, there's going to be a lot of conversation about the advancements that China made while Trump was in office. While Trump is over here talking ish, China is making major moves. China's making major moves in Africa and around in the South Pacific Ocean. They open up new trade routes. They're redefining the global economy around them. Meanwhile, we got a tough talking president who really ain't doing nothing. Who's really doing nothing at all. Trump is doing nothing. What is he doing? This whole thing with the welfare and the border. What does that mean? Exactly. What's the overall impact of it? But he's got his supporters. See here. Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar will have to return to Washington and be seated during the Senate impeachment trial. Dumbass, desperate Democrats. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. They'll have to lead the campaign trail and do their due diligence as U.S. senators. They surely will. That's where it looks like it's going. And buckle up. We get a chance to see modern day history, political history in front of us. 20 years ago, children will read about what we are about to live through, whatever the hell that means. TNT writes, I understand Trump having to cater to his base, but why do everyone else feel like we have to cater to them? We shouldn't impeach a president who has abused his powers for his own political gain and outright obstruct the process because, quote unquote, they won't change their mind. Democrats must settle for Biden because they won't vote for anyone else. WTF are we really saying? Question mark. Okay, I mean, what I was saying in that, TNT, was not that we should base it off of what his base is saying. What I was saying is I think that we should watch Trump's base because to me, that's the strongest indicator as to what these U.S. senators are going to do or may do. You know what I'm saying? Not in the sense that there's any hope in influencing it. I'm just sense of observing it and trying to get a heads up on what might happen. If through these impeachment hearings, Trump's base starts to wane or there's a different faction or it splits off and splinters and maybe there's more support for impeachment inside the Republican Party, which could have more of an impact to some of these senators and things like that. Nobody wants to be out primaried and all that. Then maybe. But if his base stays strong and they stay with the rhetoric and the BS, then they're going to vote not to impeach, and that'll be the end of it. Nothing more to talk about, right? I just can't imagine it. But again, we shall see. We shall see. All this stuff is just speculation. I don't know. CG Dub, right? Nancy and the Dems is too damn serious and predictable. What? You spoken, ain't nobody hearing that bullshit. Do as thou wilt. Really? Ray writes, she, unlike others, are educating since civics no longer exist. Thank you, Nancy, for the part of the population that hears this, and it may be foreign. So we got to split inside the chop shop about Nancy. I need Nancy to go script like Trump and go and say some shit like, bottom line, this MFer gots to go. Black Russia writes, listening to C-SPAN call line, the country is divided. No minds have been changed. Shabbat thinks impeachment is going to get Trump reelected. He might be right. Lawrence writes, Trayvon Martin family is the original Botham Jean family. I don't know about that. No, because nobody in the Trayvon Martin family embraced George Zimmerman. Let me see. George Mason was born on a farm in Fairfax County, Virginia on December 11, 1725. He led Virginia Patriots during the American Revolution, and his concept of inalienable rights influenced Thomas Jefferson's Declaration of Independence. Education is undefeated. Thank you. I appreciate that. Clue Magic writes, Nancy needs some hot Earl Grey. George writes, you sure, Tigress? Does he hear you or listen? Besides, lending an ear to you doesn't translate into clout. CG Dub writes, Nancy sounds like late nights or early mornings. Jesse writes, she sounds like she just woke up. Let me see. Cincy Tigers writes, I said it, Thunder listens to me. No coffee for you. Dee writes, hey, what's up, Dee? It's good to see you. She writes, if you are a single adult with no children and you are making minimum wage as a single person and you are working part-time, you will fall under the federal poverty level and be eligible for food stamps. 10T writes, these are college students who are on SNAP. People in the military is on SNAP who don't work daily. Okay. Clue Magic writes, I've always felt like that about folks who abuse the system, BR. Child free and well-bodied, working 20 hours a week to receive benefits is the least they can do. I thought some people may feel that way. Somebody writes, 5.5 billion you give to other countries. It's TNT. CC Tigers writes, would anyone like to sign my petition for Drop to be formally invited to the alt middle? I got pulled. I want this for you, Drop. You're welcome. She is funny. She said, I got pulled. She said, I got pulled and I want this for you. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Let me see. I want this for you. TNT writes, where is John McCain when you need sensibility? If they don't impeach, they will forever set a dangerous precedent for future presidents, and history will show how cowardly Republicans were and willfully participate in the collapse of democracy. Damn, is that important? I mean, I'm torn on it. I really am. I mean, I get the whole rule of law and we got to hold them accountable and stuff like that. I absolutely 100% get that. Trust me, I do. Well, believe me, I do 100%. But again, I'm looking forward. Let's say Trump is not removed from office and he's so-called not impeached and or exonerated by the U.S. Senate. You know, yeah, people know the makeup of the U.S. Senate, but still, the end of the day will be that he was not fully impeached. He was not removed from office. And to me, that sounds like something that Trump will use as a victory lap. They're going to say, see, I told you. The Republican senators are playing it the way that they should be playing it. They're like being, you know, for the most part, you got a few here or there, little renegades, but for the most part, tight-lipped about it. Yeah, let's move forward. Mitch McConnell was saying all the right things. Hey, you know, it'll be as long as however the Senate says. He's acting like he's just acting like he has to go along with the rules and he has to do everything above board. That's how they're going to play it. So I just don't understand how, maybe what you're saying is they have to try. Okay, I get it. I get it. You're saying they got to put that good old fashioned try in. Okay, I can go with that. Good morning, choppers. If you've been listening to my flows for any length of time, then you know that I frequently say that we need more black police officers. We need good people to enter the field of law enforcement to be the type of officers that we all want to have patrolling our streets. This is a job alert. The Cincinnati Police Officer recruitment is now open. If you're interested and or interested persons must be at least 21 years of age at the time of the appointment. That's upon completion of the 28-week training academy. You must have a high school diploma or the equivalent GED, and you must be eligible to work in the United States with a valid driver's license. I have posted a link inside the Chop Shop. I'm going to do it here again for you, and you can follow the link for more information. Please like and share this. And really, the share is really what it's all about. Share this with someone who you think might be interested in a career in law enforcement. We need good people to be on the force. to represent us and police our streets in the way that, we would expect it. And again, I think that being in law enforcement can be a very admirable career. You can text the Cincinnati PD at 797979 for more information and updates. Yeah, and follow that link. That link is comprehensive. It'll take you directly to the city of Cincinnati. You can get a direct job description. It's got details about what you need to do in terms of the physical fitness test. Yeah, get your body together. If you're ready now, get together now, because you're going to have to do a run about 1.5 miles. Do some sit-ups, push-ups, some box jumps, which is like a squat and a jump, basically. But all that information is in the link that I'm going to share with you right now. And there's also a link inside the Chop Shop as well. Don't miss out. Please share. All right, here. Drop Rice 100%, Mr. Ivy. I'm not sure what you mean by that. TNT, stop being so dramatic. That's Drop Squad. Once the value has totally decreased and folks move out to keep from dying, the pipes and other structures will be rebuilt for them. It will be a biz as usual. White folks claiming another city, voting majority. I'm just saying. Drop writes, elections have consequences. The Republican majority in the Senate will not convict 45. I agree with you. Why would they? Why would they? I'm still waiting to hear why they would. And it can't be, it's the right thing to do. The right thing to do. Mason Marlon writes, every time I watch Fox News, I feel stupid. Nah, you just got to know how to look at it. You have to look. You have to look at it from the lens. And again, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but I never feel stupid for watching Fox News because I know what I'm watching. All right. Let's see here. Again, tomorrow I have more tickets for the Ohio Kings. Don't forget the Ohio Kings. They have their kickoff, their debut game is going to be this Saturday at 4:30 p.m. And you can get tickets. I believe the tickets are $10, but we've got some free tickets to give to the Nathan Ivy Show listeners. And I think that's pretty dope. I love it. I love it. Somebody asked me when we were talking about FC Cincinnati, what if this was basketball? And I said, hey, you got to think differently then. Selfishly, I'm think a little differently. And this is ABA, minor league basketball, ABA. That's right. That was Dr. J's league back in the day. And now they're going to have a presence here in the Cincinnati area in Ohio with the Ohio Kings. It's a black-owned endeavor, and I wish them the best. And they kick off this Saturday at 4:30. There's a link inside the French page. Let me grab another link where you can get more information and details for yourself. And they got a DJ, and I'm looking forward to it. I plan on being there. And again, I'll have 2 more tickets for you tomorrow. All right, and we'll chop it up. I got to go. It's a lot of things going on. Got to make a move. See here, but I want to make sure I get all the comments in. Of course, you got the Donnie B show coming up tomorrow at 12:30. She'll be talking about Kamala Harris, among other things. That's coming up tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. I agree, Nate. I listen to a lot of conservative radio. I get them fools a business on a daily basis. Oh, I know you do. Miss Tiffany writes, how can we win tickets? I got you. Funny how you have to be in shape to become a cop, but not stay in shape to keep the job. You're right about that. I think there should be a physical fitness requirement on a regular basis. I mean, I think that for me, police officers should be like the 300. They should be over here walking around here physically fit, showing us what it's like. Because their job, you might have to run down people or run towards some kind of emergent situation. But, I don't want to get sidetracked. Just like in 1998, the Democratic majority-led Senate did not convict Bill Clinton. I'll say it again. You're right. How many times you want me to say this? You're right. We get it. Drop writes, I'm out, choppers. Okay. Angela writes, can I get the Cliff Notes version of things to look for in 2029? Let's It's a little far out of my Nostradamus. My radar screen is my Nostradamus is not that far. That's like a whole decade from now. I got a little Nostradamus in me. That's a whole lot. Listen, have a great day. We'll check back in with you tomorrow morning. Hopefully we'll all make it till Friday, bright and early at 8 a.m. And we'll be talking people, politics, and pleasure, broadcasting live from the Cincinnati area. My name is Nathan Ivey. Thank you for being here, and we'll talk real soon. I'm out.
Woo!